There's Nothing Like a Good Book is a very true title and a really good Baby Looney Tunes segment. It's the second segment of the 11th episode of the second season, and in this one, Daffy and Bugs and Lola are fighting over what the moon is made of. Daffy and Bugs think it's a type of cheese. Lola thinks it's made of marshmallows. Never heard that one before, but I like it. And Floyd decides to take them to the library where they can find a book about the moon and determine what it's really made of. And while they're there, they also explore other things in the children's library, including there's a show and arts and crafts. And I thought it was a really nice way to show that there are other things in libraries, most libraries, alongside the books. And you can go there and enjoy other things as well. And I think it's a good way to get children to spend time in libraries, even if they don't care about reading, or if they can't read yet and they're not that bothered about picture books. I know most children love looking at picture books, but some don't. Some prefer to be, active and doing things, and having the arts and crafts and things, I think, is a really good way to engage children that way. And then, of course, we look at the book and we learn about the planets and the moons, and we learn that they're made of dust and rocks and other things like that. And it was educational as well. And I thought that was pretty great. One of my favourite things about learning in early years of education is encouraging children to find out for themselves. And I think it's acceptable for adults. Not that I'm saying Granny did this, I genuinely think Granny didn't know, but I do think it's a good thing if a child asks a question, instead of giving them the answer, asking them, well, telling them you're not sure, why don't you look it up? And especially in the days of the internet, it's so easy to do that now. I mean, it would have been a trek to go to the library every time I had a question as a child. But nowadays, if a child's got a question, ask them to, if they're old enough, of course, ask them to look it up, read about it, learn more about it. I think that's so engaging, and this episode really helps to highlight that and celebrate that, and it makes learning fun and exciting, and it celebrates the existence of libraries, and that's becoming, more scarce these days. They're depleting very quickly, which is terrible. But There's Nothing Like a Good Book is still thankfully relevant today. However, many years has passed since this. Libraries still exist, books are still a great source of information, and I love that Floyd took them there. They learned about the library, what to expect. The shushing woman really annoyed me. Libraries are no longer quiet places, which is a shame because it's nice to go somewhere where it's quiet and peaceful. But most bigger libraries have like quiet rooms. But I think because you have things like arts and crafts and shows and things, they are a lot more interactive, and that requires some noise. So that character annoyed me, but not so much that it affected my overall enjoyment. This is a good segment. There's Nothing Like a Good Book. It's really enjoyable. I loved everything that it celebrated. I think it might be a new personal favourite.